Welcome to Mind Shield. We protect the mind and pursue the truth. Let's get started.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are tackling an absolutely critical skill, how to build a case that can actually withstand skepticism and how to do it safely and effectively. We're going to get into how to completely transform your approach to documenting experiences so you can create corroboration that holds up under scrutiny, all without escalating a situation or putting yourself at risk.
Okay, let's just dive right in, because this idea, it's the key to everything. There's this saying, one person's story is testimony, two independent clocks make it evidence. And that really gets to the absolute heart of the challenge, right? How do you move from a personal story, which, let's be honest, is so easily dismissed as subjective, and turn it into a body of objective, verifiable evidence? That is the secret to getting taken seriously.
And making that leap, well, it requires a pretty fundamental change in your mindset. It's really about shifting from the role of a victim who is experiencing these events to an investigator who is documenting them. Your main job becomes building a boringly concrete story, one that's focused on verifiable facts, not just your subjective feelings or your interpretations of what's happening. I want you to think of it this way. The goal is to build a dossier, not a diary. A diary is for your feelings, your theories, your interpretations. And look, that stuff is essential for your own mental health, for processing everything, but it's not evidence. A dossier, on the other hand, is a collection of objective, verifiable data. It's the kind of thing you can hand to professionals like lawyers or law enforcement, and they can actually work with it.
So the huge question is, where do you find this objective data? Especially when the events can feel so, well, invisible, right? The answer lies in what we're going to call your silent witnesses. We're talking about three types of impartial corroboration. Sources of data that don't have an opinion, they don't have a bias, and they definitely don't have an agenda. These three categories right here, system witnesses, environmental witnesses, and independent clocks, they are going to be the foundation of your evidence log. Honestly, they're your best allies in providing the kind of impartial verification you need to build a credible dossier. So let's break down each one.
All right, let's start with your first silent witness, system witnesses. You probably don't even realize it, but your own technology is creating this constant digital trail. I mean, think about it. Your router logs every single device that connects to it. Your phone is tracking data usage and call times. Your apps are sending you sign-in alerts. All of these are time-stamped, automated records that can verify network anomalies or maybe even unauthorized access.
Next up, we have environmental witnesses. This is about looking at the physical world around you for patterns. For instance, does something only happen in one specific room of your house? That's a huge clue. Does it seem to correlate with a power flicker or an internet outage or maybe some activity from a neighbor? Do you have security camera footage? These observable, location-specific events provide really powerful corroboration.
And this slide, this perfectly illustrates our third and, frankly, maybe the most powerful witness, independent clocks. These are basically time-stamped records that are created by neutral third-party sources. A store receipt, a bus ticket, an email timestamp, a bank transaction, they all anchor your personal log to a verifiable external timeline. So for example, if you say an event happened at 3:15 p.m. and you have a receipt from a store a mile away time-stamped at 3:05 p.m., you're building a concrete, verifiable sequence of events that's incredibly hard to dispute.
You know, having access to all these witnesses is one thing, but using them with discipline, that is what separates a credible case from a claim that just gets dismissed. This is where your role as a meticulous investigator really becomes the most important thing.
Now, pay close attention to this slide, because it shows the critical difference between observation and interpretation. This might be the single most important rule of this entire process. You have to log only what you can see, hear, or measure, the raw data. Heard a high-pitched sound from 10:05 to 10:07 p.m. is a fact. They are using an audio weapon on me is a theory. Stick to the facts every single time.
Your logbook needs to be treated like a crime scene notebook. Seriously. Every single entry has to be factual, precise, and completely 100% devoid of theories. Include the date, the exact time, your location, the specific sensations and how long they lasted, and this is key, any correlating data you found from your silent witnesses, like that router log entry or a note about a neighbor's security camera.
And this is exactly why this whole process is so critical. This disciplined documentation, it takes your individual subjective stories and transforms them into objective, data-driven patterns. And it's those patterns, backed by cold, hard evidence from your silent witnesses, that will strengthen your case for any potential legal or policy action. You are, in effect, building your own forensic trail. So now that you know how to build your case, it is just as important to know what can tear it all down. Building a solid case is hard work, and believe me, it can all be undone by a few common mistakes. So let's look at the pitfalls that can completely destroy your credibility.
The crucial point here is to keep it lawful and boring. First, never ever coach witnesses. Don't tell them what you think they saw or heard. Just ask them what they saw. We already hammered on keeping theories out of your log, so we can skip that. Third, you got to avoid public accusation spirals. They can escalate things in an unsafe way, and frankly, they can make you appear erratic. And here's a subtle one. Don't obsessively try to force an event to happen just to test it. Document when it happens, but also document when it doesn't happen. Those null trials are just as important. Your goal is pattern recognition, not provocation.
Okay, let's tie all of these threads together. If there is one golden rule to remember from all of this, it's this: the core mission of your entire investigation.
Your mission is to turn the invisible into the measurable. By systematically, dispassionately logging data from your silent witnesses, the systems, the environment, and those independent clocks, you create a measurable forensic trail. You are literally taking subjective, invisible experiences and grounding them in objective, visible data. And that is much, much harder for anyone to dismiss.
So you've learned how to collect the evidence. You've built your dossier. But the next step is just as critical. How do you preserve it, handle it, and document it in a way that ensures it remains legally admissible and can actually hold up in court? Well, that's what we'll cover next time, when we dive deep into the chain of custody.